Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back again with another video. And tonight's game, we are back with a different kind of performance from Arsenal and a game where at St. Mary's, the second half, of course, a game of two halves, but in the second half performance today, we really struggled to get through. We really struggled to have a cutting edge in this game. And one thing I felt was we were lucky to get away with a point. Shout out to everyone tuned in. Sorry, I'm going live a bit later than usual after full time, but I did want to share my thoughts of the game, briefly going into the game, but also talking about how we are lucky to go with a point and the abysmal officiating decisions from the referee today was absolutely ridiculous and inconsistent. The officiating in the game today, no matter how much we wanna call out and criticize. Yes, it's an impact, and it did impact our performance today. But the second half intensity dropped off from Arsenal Football Club today. And these kind of performances, against Leeds, we got lucky with VAR. Two decisions we got lucky with against Leeds. But today, yes, we can blame and criticize and critique the officiating decisions, but today's game, we struggled in the second half to string passes together. We struggled to complete chances. These substitutions were not great. But you know what? The positives to take away from the game was we're still top of the league, and it's the only time this season, second time this season, we've dropped points. We dropped points initially to Old Trafford away from home. Put things into perspective. We're not going to win every single game, and these kind of results happen. What matters to me more is, are we going to bounce back from this, and what are we going to take away from this game? Poor finishing and the abysmal officiating costed us this game, but also I felt the substitution decisions made in today's performance wasn't necessarily the greatest of substitutions. I felt Ben White and Odegaard should not have been subbed off. The team was poor today. We gave the ball too early in the game at times, and we displaced possession so many times in the second half that it was so easy for Southampton to get through on the counterattack. Defensively, we were poor today. We didn't have an organized defensive back line. It was a lackluster performance, and we played well for the opening half. The first 20 minutes of the game, we started well with great intensity. Wonderful assistance by Ben White for that brilliant right foot shot by Granit Xhaka. And then, we should have scored at least two more to kill off the game. We had many chances in the first half that we just couldn't finish, and we got punished for it at the end of the day. The second half, we dropped intensity heavily. We ran out of ideas and we ran out of intensity, and our players got fatigued. Granit Xhaka looked so burnt out in the second half. I was shocked. And it's no shocker there. It's no surprise because he's played every single game so far this season. He has not had a proper rest. This match, to take away, shows we don't really have that proper depth for the Premier League where players will come back off the bench to make an impact. We don't have that proper impact substitutions. Today, Vieira came off the bench, Eddie Nketiah came off the bench, and they didn't really make impact in the game. With that being said, I really felt the substitutions hurted us even more. I don't think Odegaard and Ben White should have came off. They were our better players today. We should have took off either Tomiyasu, Partey, Jesus, or Saka, and to up our momentum more. And it felt like Vieira at times was hopeless when he came on. I want to say shout out to everyone in the chat, and thanks for everyone tuning in, whether you're watching on Twitter or whether you're watching on my YouTube channel directly. Let me know your thoughts of the Southampton away performance. 1-1 draw. We dropped 2 points, but you can also take it away as, we got lucky to take a point away back home, no casualties. And the next game we'll have to focus on is PSV in Holland. We just need a point there. And then at Nottingham Forest, which the game I am going to, my first Premier League game, I really hope, we rest some of our main players except Granit Xhaka for obvious reasons. But even if Granit Xhaka is rested, if he can come off the bench and make an impact, the team's performance comes first before my selfish needs. But before I get into this match reaction a bit more in depth, and we talk about the officiating decisions, and also, the same call that was made yesterday in the Chelsea Man United game to give Jorginho J5 a penalty was the exact same move that happened today, and absolutely nothing was given in today's performance. Before I go on to slate and slander this official, I do want to talk about our performance, individually, strikers to midfield to defense. But I also want to talk about some positives in this game and also some players that are, Balogun and Charlie Patino. Before we get to that, I do want to also mention a massive win to the ladies today. The ladies played really well today, and that started my morning off at 7 a.m. with a massive win, getting us on the score sheet, but also getting us the result we needed against Liverpool ladies. So congratulations to the Arsenal women. Well done to them. And thank you so much for representing us. With that being said, let me go ahead and run back that intro real quick. So, going on to play St. Mary's, Southampton away from home at St. Mary's on a very pissing rain weather, and I'm surprised the game even went on. And then we saw the lineup. The only criticism I have from that was the fact that Tomiyasu was playing that left back position again. Personally, I would have preferred to start Kieran Tierney, someone who's more experienced in that role, but also, Tomiyasu at left back. You saw against Leeds, it didn't work out. Against Liverpool, yes, it worked out tactically really well, Mikel. Well done there. But against Leeds and against Southampton tonight, it did not work out. And Tomiyasu at times, Spurs lost. Yes! Yes! Tottenham get battered everywhere they go. Everywhere they go. Yes, yes, yes. Now that draw that we have feels more like a win. Feels more, something better for us to take out of F off you Spurs, and I'm happy with that. So thanks for letting me know, Robbie. I did see the Harry Kane goals to get the one goal for them. But moving on into this game, I do want to say, with that lineup, I felt Tomiyasu shouldn't have been playing in that position. I felt we should have just kept it the way we did beforehand, like when we played the North London Derby, keep the same lineup. I felt Tomiyasu at left back today did not work out, and it was a poor decision to make. With that being said, the other, positions we played and the bench I felt was fine. I didn't have no concerns with. The first 20 minutes, we started the game well. We had intensity, we had momentum, and we were first to everything. We were first to every through ball. We were first to every pass. We were first to every touch. And we didn't have sloppy possession. We played really well and organized, and we had fluid football from the midfield to the attack. Shout out Paul, shout out Ravi, shout out Gunnersaurus, and shout out everyone tuned in the chat. Shout out Jared, my brother, and shout out Jordan Hyman tuned in as well. Shout out to Broja, shout out to Rich. Nice to talk to you the other day on Friday on Steven's channel, and I hope you have a great holiday as well, mate. So going on into the performance, after the first 20 minutes, Granit Xhaka gets us on the score sheet with a massive, assistance, but also a great impact game from Ben White. I felt he had a really great game today, and he did not deserve to be subbed off. I think that going back to when I said there was poor substitutions made today, Ben White and Odegaard were one of our better players, two of our better players, and should never have been subbed off. I felt Arteta did get the substitutions wrong today, and yes, it does happen. My instinct from this full-time result of a draw, yes, we're going away with a point and no casualties, but personally, I feel we are very well damn lucky to go away with a draw, because we could have easily lost the game. Southampton in the second half were all over us. They were really ripping apart Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu at times in the second half couldn't even track back. He couldn't even get his man on him. It was really hard. He wasn't doing man marking. He wasn't tracking back, and he kept losing the ball. I felt like it just wasn't a game for him. He looked tired. He looked out of it, and it didn't work out in the position he was playing. Now, bringing Tierney off the bench, you saw the impact of Tierney in the game. Tierney kept us in the game and also kept us that lead until Armstrong scored. With that being said, I feel Tierney should start more. And yes, you can say, what's it going to take until Kieran Tierney finally starts in the Premier League? I think it's long overdue, and I think Tierney should be starting more. We have healthy competition for certain positions, and there's nothing wrong with that. The teams that win honors and trophies and medals, you need to have healthy competition in your squad. Now, when we talk about the January window, This squad, this Arsenal team, does not have that impact substitution off the bench. We do not have a game changing substitution. We are reactive at times rather than proactive. We don't have the quality off the bench. We really need to strengthen in January at least one or two positions, especially in midfield. We need a backup to Thomas Partey ASAP. In fact, yesterday. And seeing Emil Smith Rowe come back is gonna feel like a new signing in January. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I wish him a speedy recovery as well. And I think he's going to be crucial to us, but also can give Odegaard some healthy competition there as well. Keep in mind, Emil Smith Rowe was a great player last season. He impacted in one of our highest goal scorers last season, along with Bukayo Saka. Going on into today's performance, we did see a lot of poor officiating decisions. This referee, Jesus, goes down, no card shown. Saka gets fouled like 8 times, no card shown. Odegaard gets tripped right in front of this official's eyes, no card shown. There's a choking incident that happened, the same incident that happened last season in the second half of this game today. And Granit Xhaka last season got sent off for the same damn thing. Sent off, red card right away for the same thing. And this referee today said, it's just a yellow, they're play fighting. Are you effing kidding me? Is this the kind of officiating we have in the Premier League? This is supposed to be the greatest league of all of them. And this is the kind of stinking officiating and the inconsistencies in officiating we have. We also need to talk about the chance Odegaard had. Odegaard had a great chance. It wasn't offside, but it was actually the ball was out of play, so of course they ruled it out. Then we have players getting fouled right, left, and center. We have players getting head-butted, and nothing is shown. No card whatsoever. There was only one yellow card given to a Southampton player near the end of the game, closer to full time, in the whole 90 minutes plus additional time of this game. Whereas Arsenal was getting booked right, left, and center. This official and this referee needs to have his eyes checked at Specsavers, because bloody hell, shit was going on in front of him, shit was going on right and left and center to him, and he didn't care. He was so clueless and really sold the game in the first half. I felt like if certain decisions, and I know we cannot control the referee, so I'm not going to talk about this for too long, but I do want to highlight this as the inconsistent basis of officiating in the Premier League can cost us games and can cost us results. With that being said, however, we should not blame the officiating decisions for our poor performance in the second half. In that first half, we had more than 5 chances to put away on goal that we struggled to finish in the final third. If you can't finish your dinner, you are going to get punished and you are not going to be able to get home with 3 points. Tonight, we got lucky to get the point and go home with no casualties. Next up, we have to play PSV in Holland. We get 1 point. That's all we need. We just need a point. Hopefully, we get more than that. Of course, we do our best. And then at Forest, I expect we rotate the squad because we do have Zurich again. And then we have to play Chelsea. We need to talk about the midfield situation today. Partey was okay in the first half, but in that second half, our midfield disappeared. When Vieira came on as well, he kept losing the ball, losing possession way too many times. Vieira, mind you, is a great player. I think there's a truly solid player in him, but tonight wasn't the game for him. He really struggled to adjust to the game. There was more than one incident where in the same passage of play, he kept losing the ball way too much. It was so easy for Southampton, the opponents, to cut through on us and to clearly go on a counter-attacking run. They ripped our defense apart in that second half. Our defense struggled today. With that being said, the players that stood out to me today was Xhaka, Ben White had a great game, and Odegaard to a certain extent. Other than that, I felt like there wasn't good enough performance and not enough being vocal from certain players today. I felt a lot of players were too quiet, way too quiet for my liking. The only thing I want to say, taking out of this game is we got away with a point, no injuries, and, we use this as a learning curve to go on to play Forest. If you can't beat Forest at home, that's really concerning. And I don't want our heads to drop. I want us to stay consistent and continuant. We're not going to win every single game this season, so I understand. It wasn't an easy game at all. Last season we lost at St. Mary's. We haven't beat them in a long time at their ground. Some of our players kept losing possession. And with that being said, Gabriel Jesus and Nketiah, they're not being clinical. Gabriel Jesus, especially, he has everything in a complete striker, especially in terms of that cutting edge, that, passing, directness of his movement, but also, the positional awareness he has. It's just, ever since the North London derby, he has not scored yet. He's having a goal drought at the moment. Now, I don't know if it's fatigue, if it's a lack of confidence, or what it is, but he's not having that cutting edge in the final third. We were not clinical today, our strikers and our attack, in the second half specifically. For me personally, we need to bounce back into the next fixture, which our focus is now the Europa League PSV, but also Nottingham Forest at home. At home, we have a different atmosphere. The fans are the 12th man. Tonight's game, the 12th man we played up against was the official for Southampton. It felt like we were playing 12-man Southampton over 11-man Arsenal. Hi, Arsenal Alex. Thank you so much for tuning in. He said Martinelli was good. Odegaard was shocking. I actually think the other way around. I think Martinelli was a bit quiet. However, I understand why. And I think Odegaard helped create a lot of chances in the first half. He shouldn't have been subbed off. I don't think that was the right decision, especially after he scored that goal. I felt he was the only one giving us confidence in the game to still try to be resilient in the game, even though we had no output. Hi Talk, thanks for tuning in. He says it will be interesting to see how you bounce back in the next game. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I really think our heads will not drop. I think we'll use this definitely as a learning curve. And the weather today also was really, really poor. I'm not blaming it like Jurgen Klopp. I know Ravi's in the chat, so that's just a dig to his manager. But I think we'll definitely bounce back from this, and we'll take the steps that we need to in training to improve. You can't be getting away with these kind of performances week in and week out. If you're trying to win a game, yes, you get lucky sometimes. Some teams always get lucky, here and there. Can we also talk about this incident where Bukayo Saka got booked for diving? That was not a dive, and that's not a yellow card. Harry Kane can commit murder and get away with it every single week in and week out. He'll get penalties. It's written in every single game, right? And he can commit murder. He can dive, dive off a cliff, dive off a board, dive on the pitch. Mo Salah can do it. And Bukayo Saka does something very, very light. And he was going for the ball, and he's booked for diving. He's shown a yellow card for diving. Absolutely abysmal officiating today. Unacceptable. And this game was sold first before our poor performance in the second half. This game was sold near the end of the first half to the official. With that being said, my man of the match, if I have to choose one, I do realize it was a draw, but I think one of our most influential players, someone who kept going back to our players saying, keep your head together, stay in position, don't stay out of position. And he took every opportunity he had to keep this team together, even though we found it hard at St. Mary's. It's never an easy game to play against Saints. And yes, I did predict a 3-1 win to Arsenal. However, being here today saying a 1-1 draw, I'll take it, especially after watching the game and seeing how we performed in the second half. We were really poor. We are still top of the league, so don't overreact personally. We are not in a title race personally. I still think we need to strengthen in January. This game really shows the lack of squad depth, and the lack of squad depth as in first team players, to play and come off the bench in Premier League games, not cup games. So that's something I want to stress as well. But my man of the match goes to no other than the lovely and wonderful wonder striker with his right foot, Granit Xhaka. I think he's my man of the match. I know for a fact he's my man of the match. And equally, who had a good game was Ben White. I don't think he should have been subbed off. He was the glue to the game today. He was winning our duels. He was fighting, getting every single block and clearances. He was really, really good. He had a great game today. Ramsdale wasn't really tried and tested, and there was nothing he could do for that goal that we conceded because of our defense. Actually, it was Tomiyasu's mistake as it went down his side. And I really hope we cut those out. If you're trying to compete with Man City and give them a run for their money, you can't be having defensive errors. You can't be having your own players being, illogical and making poor decision making. Also, you can't be having players out of their respective positions. You have to have players from defense to midfield to attack know their positional awareness and stand by it. You can't have a lackluster defense. It's going to cost us games. With that being said, the Arsenal ladies won today, so credits to them. Charlie Patino scored today, Balogun scored today, and the man to score for Arsenal was Granit Xhaka. That's my positives from the game today. Next up, we focus on Holland. We're going to Holland away on Thursday for the Europa League, and we're playing PSV, Van Nistelrooy's team, but away from home. That PSV team is very toxic. It's not the team, but it's the fans. They were throwing flares, they were ripping seats in the away end. They weren't having it, and we only beat them 1-0, but I'll still take it. A win is a win at the end of the day. We just need 1 goal, 1 point against PSV to go through to the next round, and then we play Zurich on the 3rd of November. I will be going to that game. It's my first Europa League game, but also my first Premier League game will be likely to be Forest, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited for it as I've never been to a game at the Emirates. I have done the stadium tour and I have done the museum tour, which was really, really fun. I went with my dad, who's also a massive Gooner, back in 2019 before coronavirus started. And I'm really looking forward to it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Who's your man of the match? Who shined out for you in today's performance? But one thing I think we can all agree on collectively is we'll come back stronger from this and we'll bounce back from this. We play Forest at home. I think that'll be a great confidence boost before we go on to take Potter's Blues at Stamford Bridge. With that being said, I am going to wrap up this stream. So if you do have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I will be live sometime midweek for a brief Arsenal transfer news video, something different, to talk about who we've been linked to recently. And also, congratulations to Gabriel Magalhaes. He has signed a new contract. Arsenal Football Club are still working on signing the new contract of the lovely Granit Xhaka, William Saliba, and also Gabriel Martinelli. I'm not sure the order in which they will appear, but as soon as I hear anything credible, I will definitely let you guys know right here on my YouTube channel. With that being said, earlier this morning at 12 o'clock in the afternoon UK time, I was live for a Game Week 13, mini review with my friends Lama at FPL Casuals this morning. So if you do want to check that out, do type in FPL Casuals if you're interested in all things FPL and discussions over there. With that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. There's not long to go till the weekend begins, and we'll soon be back here to do PSV match reaction on Thursday, and I'll be doing that live from the UK. So that's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully I can do it live from the Emirates, even though we're playing in Holland. I can't go to Holland, unfortunately, it's too far. But hopefully I'll do it from the Emirates. And last but not least, come on, you Gunners. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend and a great rest of your day. Adios. Thanks for watching.